we're right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar today, where we're continuing our COVID-19 survival panel for small businesses. I'm joined today with Priscilla B. Smith from Cloud9 Associates in Brisbane. How are you, Priscilla?
Thanks for having me, Peter.
And we have Kevin Thiel from Southern Victoria, who's going to be talking on operations management of businesses. So how are you today, Kevin?
Yeah, good, thanks, Peter.
Kevin's with Working Better, a new business that he has formed. So the theme for the presentation today is accountants providing a wider range of services than just taxation, and management accountant assistance, vital for the manufacturing industry, mechanical workshops, etc., which Kevin's going to talk about. If you have any questions during the presentations, can you, if you're watching live on the webinar, can you type the question in, please? And I will put the questions to the presenters later today. And if you are watching via the Facebook live feed, can you send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, and we will relay the questions to the people. I now want to introduce you to Priscilla B. Smith, who's going to make her presentation. So Priscilla, I'm going to switch the screen now, and it'll be over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Yep.
Welcome, everyone. And today we are talking to small business and the ways we can help them. We have an amazing team around here, and Peter is supporting all our activities. We're helping ourselves to his tools. His tools are amazing and valuable. A whole lifetime of expertise he put into it. So I am privileged to be invited here. So today we're going to talk about, so I am the tax agent for Cloud9, and Peter Towers is our advisory expert for the group. We're going to come back to this screen later, but just to see where you can find us. So we call it Small Business Survivor Support during COVID-19 crisis. Now, I said that our attendees, they can shoot us an email and then ask for the bonuses. We will send out bonuses to everybody who's requesting them. This is also in our idea to support small business. We will issue these tools for you, and you can help yourself to them or just come back to us and let's work together with them. So what are the services that accountants can provide in supporting SMEs to survive the difficult times? Now, our vision and mission has changed since COVID-19. Accountants, tax agents, who we are, our mission has changed. We have to shift to support the small businesses and upskill ourselves with advisory skills and stuff like that, because otherwise our role is not going to be complete while we're trying to support small business to survive. So very happy to actually provide extra services. And I'm thinking, how can we achieve that? First of all, we have to learn to communicate better with our clients, with you as a small business. We have to be up to date with the news and communicate it to you. So there's news coming in every day, and we have to aware and more than that, to communicate it back to you. So we have to contact our small business customer, support them and sit down and analyze their situation at the moment, how they will be affected by the COVID-19. We sit down with the meetings this time. They are very important. Now, our meetings were not always face-to-face, but because we are using video calls, we could actually conduct effective meetings online. Then we sit down and build a cash flow analysis, we budget, build up budgeting and forecasting, starting to look at where the business stands, how it was impacted, and what we can do in the future. So we have to keep reporting at a shorter intervals. We can't wait for another year at the moment. We will have to keep reporting monthly for this business, and we have to be ready to do that. With financial modeling, we have to be able to restructure and advise small business if they need restructuring, because I've seen businesses had to reinvent themselves, and we are the advisors who they reach out to us. So we have to be accomplished advisors. When restructuring, every business is different, and we will have to focus. So that's what we do. Then helping to apply for government guaranteed loans. For grants, this is where we had to actually shift our focus to help applying for those loans. Why I'm saying this, at this point in time, I had several businesses to actually apply for them, and we had lots of success with them. The reports, they have to be up to date. This time is not reports which we normally do. These are interim reports, very specific with comparatives and stuff, and we are ready to do this. My clients, they did get their loans. And grants now, we will focus on grants in the next couple of months. And Peter BIZTOOLS is helping us to actually be able to apply for those. We are not struggling with these. So, not struggling, we're not guessing, we do have the specific tools for that. So then we closely monitor and brainstorm with the management team of the small business, and we might have to set new policies where necessary, because as we restructure or rethink or rebuild the business from scratch, this is our focus. And then we'll future plan and forecast, so we can't lose the sight of the progress of the business. So what government incentives are available? We talked about them several times, but the main ones which we can help you with is JobKeeper, cash boost incentives, government secured loans, and every state has specific incentives in place. Please reach out to us and ask. With grants, again, it's a whole list of it. Peter is passionate about helping small business with grants and helping us, helping you to get those. And what's necessary for them. How accountants have it accessing incentives, loans, and grants. How do we help it? We have to prepare supporting report, as I just said. We build documents necessary, which, you know, in order to lodge a successful application, and we give advice during the application process. I've been next to my clients daily where we're building these. So, but we've been successful with that. So it has to be done well. So accountants help with innovation and restructuring small business in order to adapt to change. So first of all, to adapt to change, deal with change and go with change, which the change didn't stop. Change is with us and it's gonna be with us for a few more months or maybe years. And us as accountants, we have to take a proactive approach. If we don't do that, we won't be able to help you. What I'm saying, innovation and restructure. Sometimes innovation, some small business are left behind with reporting. There are spreadsheets, we will have to implement innovation in their business and the way they record stuff. And show them the ways of the future. And this is where the proactive approach comes through. Small business to approach us and ask for those extra services. So when we say this again, proactive approach, business advisory. We're shifting from only tax returns, but when I say we also have to do the tax returns, because I had some clients, they had unfinished reporting with the ATO. We had to go back and neat up and actually build, better reports at the moment. And compliance too, but advisory. So what we try to say here, that expert support is available. Cloud9 Associates, us, we are taking a proactive approach. I also built small packages, small support packages for COVID era, where I offer very affordable packages for business to come and approach us, and we can help them. We are on the top of the new legislation and the top of the news, and you can trust us with advice. And then we are part of Small Business Tools of Peter, and we are helping ourselves to these amazing tools, which we can't go wrong with them. He's got tools for you in the same time. You can help yourself to those, and he's got tools and updated information for small business at your fingertips, and I'll show you where to find it. Please come to us and just get on the top of the game. We can help you. So here, this is my direct calendar. This is where you can book yourself, and on our website, you're gonna find affordable packages I built for you. And on Peter's website, you can find your tools. There is also a discount available. Please reflect on this screen for a minute. And then I can go back to Peter. So again, don't forget, reach out to us and just ask for the bonuses today. You might be able to use them yourself, or just come back to us and we'll build those reports together. Okay, thanks for having me, Peter, and then back to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Priscilla. What I just now want to do is introduce you to Kevin Thiel. Kevin's a partner in Working Better. Kevin's going to talk to you today about operations management consultant services. So how are you, Kevin?
Yeah, good, thanks, Peter.
Okay, well, we're just going to switch over to you, and please You can start talking now. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
You're on air.
Hello, I'm Kevin Thiel and my business is called Working Better. I'm a retired management consultant with a strong background in manufacturing from well before computers even, with experience as a CFO, as a cost and management accountant, and operating a mechanical workshop, twiddling dials on lathes and mills, and I've spent my life learning these skills. I've long had an interest in automation, and even today, at the end of my working life, can see where relatively cheap cobots, that's collaborative robots, can be employed, cheap when compared to the cost of labour. Before we start, about a month ago, I came across a very thought-provoking ebook, which made me sit up and think. It's called Your Roadmap to Money in 2020, written by a guy called Mark Joyner, who has been very influential in the digital marketing for the last 30 years and has instituted a lot of the processes we use today, like email marketing. The long and the short of it is, don't expect the future to be a continuation of the past. When planning future strategies, consider all things that may influence the outcome. He calls it Know Your Battlefield. It's very readable and will only take 2 to 3 hours to get through, and it's presented in a very novel style. Back to today's topics. Today we are examining the following 3 subjects. Is your accounting system giving you the information you need? Secondly, time management. And thirdly, purchasing and cash flow. Accounting systems. Many businessmen see accounting systems as a necessary evil as they don't generate money. But they fail to understand that no matter what they produce and no matter how complex their business, if they run out of money, they're sunk. That's where a good accounting system comes in and why successful companies are very good at managing their money. I've installed about 5 large accounting systems in mid-sized companies over the years, and it's a hugely complex business, one I'd never do again. 3 of them were manufacturers and all have inventory, which increases the complexity dramatically. Many accounting systems used by businesses today are woefully inadequate for the purpose. Quite often they are just set up to produce a profit and loss statement so your accountants can calculate your tax. Most systems can do much, much more, and if they are set up properly. For a start, they should be online, so the actual accounting software is always up to date and your accountant is able to work on them directly without you sending him any data. You should be able to know where you're at on a daily basis, and this can be achieved relatively easy by getting daily feeds of your transactions direct from your bank, which can then be matched and sent to the correct account, thereby minimising the data entry substantially. They should have a dashboard which summarises your financial state. All the popular packages like Xero, MyOb and QuickBooks do this. Did you know that there is an industry-specific add-on software for each product that seamlessly integrates to the basic software, virtually making it more than suitable for your industry requirements? There is a new player on the market now called WISE, W-I-I-S-E, which has been developed by KPMG and funded by the Commonwealth Bank. It is positioning itself at the next level from those mentioned and will suit the mid-range businesses. One huge word of caution though with accounting systems: never rely on the advice of someone who only has a qualification but no practical experience in that particular field. For example, a plumber who only has done household plumbing would use seek his advice on plumbing a 10-storey building. Same with anyone, accountants who only do tax, lawyers, whatever. A qualification is no magic thing that makes you an expert on everything in that field. Far from it, in fact. Most qualifications are done when you're straight from school with no experience, and most of what you learn goes in one ear and out the other. And with only 3 to 4 years to get your qualification, you only gain an overview of the subject at best. Moving on. Your accounting system, at the minimum, should allow you to analyse how much each product returns if you sell several distinct products and services. You must separate sales and expenses for each product that you want to analyse at the source when the data is first entered. It should also allow you to analyse your cash situation readily. What's outstanding, what's due for payment, and when. This is where a good working knowledge of cash flow is required. Many businesses fail because of inadequate cash flow, and many reasons are the cause. It's a difficult area. Some ways to alleviate it is to issue invoices immediately. Example, from your mobile direct to their email, and don't extend credit where you don't have to. Use every opportunity to collect the payment on the spot whenever you can. And forget sending statements and invoices once a month if you can. That swings out to 60 days or more very easily. A good accounting system is one of the critical areas you must be competent with if you want to scale your business successfully. Secondly, time management. I had hoped to have my new website ready for today, as I was giving away a free booklet on time management strategies, which I have used to some effect. As mentioned earlier, about a month ago, I came across this Mark Joyner, who wrote Your Roadmap to Money in 2020. He also has a learning plan which forces productivity on you by completing about a 10-minute session each morning where you decide on your tasks and then act on them. It's repetition stuff, so it soon becomes second nature. I've been at it for about 3 weeks now, and it works great for me. I was concerned that my productivity had slipped dramatically, partly because of ageing, but so far I can see a substantial improvement. It's just based on the principle that you learn more by doing than just reading or attending a class. I'm also learning digital marketing, and the same principle applies. Choose a task, for example, creating my website, and just do it. Learn what you need to complete the tasks. That's always worked for me from the mid-1980s when PCs were introduced. With all that software to learn, spreadsheets, databases, accounting systems, word processes, etc. The big takeaway with time management, though, is that you must be ruthless in avoiding distractions. For example, turn off your social media, stop reading the news. Do you really need to know what's going on, or is that just brainwashing? If it's really important, you'll find out soon enough. Only check your emails infrequently, only take urgent phone calls, and shut the door. Learn to rely on your mobile and use voice commands for making appointments, making calls, jotting down tasks and reminders, and dictation. They all work a treat, and it just takes some getting used to, and for others around you. Purchasing and cash flow. If you're a manufacturer, you have to ensure you have adequate stock to make the products when needed. This doesn't mean having a large inventory of parts, because that's money tied up for nothing. Instead, you have to ensure that you have the inventory when needed and order it in quantities that allows you to pay for it when payment becomes due. I had a client who had a well-known hardware franchise which was always chronically short of cash. On investigation, the purchasing staff were taking advantage of every quantity discount, and there were pallets full of products that might take 2 years to sell. Google this. 4, that's the number 4, procurement actions for a successful cash flow management, and choose any of the results. This will give you a good understanding of cash flow and purchasing, simply explained. If you use inventory in your accounting system and you are a manufacturer, ensure that your bills and material are complete and up to date with quantities, and all the data on each component is also complete, especially for lead times. You can then interrogate inventory to see what you need to purchase to complete the order, and most systems will automatically generate purchase orders. This is a very complex procedure and not one I can explain in 5 minutes. I am creating an online course which explains all of the above in great detail with text, images and video clips, and will ready you to understand the topics before you engage a consultant or expert, so you're pre-armed basically. Look at my website, www.workingbetter.online to see if the course content, topics. It covers a whole lot more than discussed today. It will take me quite a bit of time to complete the course. It's very comprehensive, but I will be releasing blog posts on my website and possibly Facebook and LinkedIn frequently with little tips and tricks to assist productivity. If you want free copies of time management strategies in your roadmap to money, email me at kevin@workingbetter.online. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much,
One thing
Kevin.
I wanted to add to this, when I said we're trying to implement innovation in small business, this is also what we intended to say. New systems, automate your systems. You can't rely on your old spreadsheets and all kinds of papers flowing and floating around. This is Kevin. The small business has to implement innovation.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
So
I'm a bit
small
deaf.
business has to implement innovation.
If you can't, what?
Innovation.
Innovation.
Yeah, new systems
Yeah,
and
well,
innovation.
you don't need to do anything new. You just have to use what you've already got. And getting bank feeds and all that sort of thing, you can cut out the data entry almost entirely. And by using what they call rules to match the data as it comes in, as each line of data comes in from the bank, it's usually in a specific format, and you can get the computer to recognise that format and send it off to the appropriate account. So it's all hands-free data entry. And
Exactly.
saves time.
Small business has to understand they have to have a system in place. And sometimes they think, oh, we have to pay $50 for the zero system. Well, it's not paying it, it's how much you save by having it, isn't it?
That's the hard thing to get across to a lot of people. Like, as I said, to save it up with is that they think that an accounting system is something that you have to have, but it's because it doesn't obviously produce money. They don't think it's worth too much spending time on, but they fail to consider how much money it saves them.
Exactly.
Which is the same thing if you look at it, depends which way you're looking at it. Saving money is the same as making money, isn't it? A dollar saved is the same as a dollar earned. In the bottom line.
That's right. Kevin, you did mention inventory in your presentation, how important it was. Would you care to comment about inventory relative to a job costing system? Because I've struck a few people in the last 2 weeks that they're running workshops. One had 30 odd employees in a workshop with no job costing system because they haven't implemented an inventory system. What would you think about that?
It really depends a lot. It depends on the complexity. If they've got a lot of items in there, that required for each product, it does cause problems because there's quite a bit of clerical work required to maintain the inventory correctly. And if it's not maintained correctly, it's not really useful. And all it can do is create a massive amount of work. And if it's not done and checked to make sure the levels are okay, well, you're really up against it. So in a lot of cases, I would advise clients not to bother with inventory if their work is simple enough, because it is, as I said, it's very labour intensive to keep it up to date. And it can be more complex than the results you're getting out of it. And, but if you are a large company and you really need to dedicate 1 or 2 people to maintain that inventory, it's a bit of a hard job for someone who's answering the phone and doing all the other bits and pieces. Like if you've got just one person in your office, it makes it extremely difficult for them. But as far as job costing, it's quite complex too, because you have to record invoices as they come in against a specific job. And that can be difficult. Whereas if you're a smaller business, I'd tend to sort of just fly it by ear, to be quite honest. And I wouldn't be maintaining inventory at all. I'd be just getting the invoices as they come in. You see that, put it on the job card or on the system, of course, and take it from there. Mm. But I've seen a lot of people crash and burn with inventory, and it is something that requires an awful lot of dedication to keep it working properly. The big companies don't have an issue because they've got dedicated staff doing it.
Yeah.
And they're doing regular stock takes, which are periodic stock takes, which you have to get it. They always get out of line, always, no matter how efficient your business is, even with all the scanning tools and that you've got. Usually you get the systems out of line, and you frequently got to do, when I say frequently, every 6 months or a year, you've got to do a stock take bring your system back into line with what the stock take says as far as quantities are concerned.
Mm. And that probably means then that your work in progress, your job costing system's been incorrect in that period of time, because not all the inventory's been charged out or whatever.
Exactly, that can easily happen, and that's what I was saying for the smaller people to just keep the pile of invoices on their desk related, relative to the jobs, and sort them into job order, and then you can soon get it sorted out. And you can produce an invoice quite frequently and get the job out. Because one of the other things I've said is getting your invoices out quickly is it's a huge thing to do. It's critical for your cash flow.
Yes, debtors days outstanding is still very high in Australia. The federal government's small business ombudsman, Kate Carnell, made a comment 4 years ago that Australia had the dubious record of having the highest debtors days outstanding in the world. And at the time, I made some inquiries, and that figure was 56.4 days. I noticed a report about 3 months ago that said that Australia's debtors days outstanding figure was 56 days. So in 4 years, it had only been reduced by 0.4 of a day, which probably means we've still got one of the highest debtors days outstanding in the world. But I suspect a lot of the problem, not all of it, but a lot of the problem is that some small businesses seem to be very reluctant about sending their invoices out. They leave it to the end of the month, and then someone does it when they've got time. And if they're still sending debtors statements, some of them are very slow in getting those statements out. And my belief is if they've educated their client that they're going to send statements, their client waits till they get the statement before they even think about making payment. You got any thoughts on that?
And exactly, and that's why I've said that getting the invoice out is the key to it all, and try and avoid the old traditional system of statements and invoices. I've found that if you can get the invoice out, and I mean these days with your mobile phone, you can just send the invoice, or with the modern accounting system, you can send the invoice out to their email immediately.
Yep.
And even if if you don't have to be explicit in having the items used in your invoice down to the cent, you can actually have a for a particular item, as long as it's relates to back what the invoice level is, you can. But that's why I don't like, in the smaller places, not having an inventory online, because it is very time consuming to maintain it. And but yeah, a lot of people do see the accounting system as a nuisance, really. Is that getting the invoices and the bills out. I know a couple of people around here that the only time they bill, they're tradies, and the only time they bill is when they're running short of money. That's pretty amazing, I thought. And I'd rather see them do something regular, even if it's at the end of the day. But as I said, if you can move people more to using their mobiles, the better off they are, because they don't, because their job's not interrupted. They just might spend, when they have a lunch, they can just approve the invoices or whatever, and off they go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to spend any time in the office. You can do most of the stuff off your phone these days. And not many people do. They just use it for phone calls and for social media.
Exactly. So sometimes the new system Zero and all those you talked about, Kevin, they transformed a quote straight to an invoice with a press of a button. You don't have to redo it. Once you have a quote, the client accepts it. It becomes an invoice at the press of a button. So it's as easy as.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's been around for a long, long time. The system of doing a quote and creating that into an invoice and then sending it off. You can do that to email. It's been around at least probably late 90s, I would say. But to do it from your mobile, that's only been since, say, the 2010 probably. But yeah, I've been an advocate of the paperless office nearly all my life, and I've got colleagues that also think the same. And we don't have any filing systems, and a couple of them are accountants. Public accountants. We do everything, pretty much everything stored online and scanned. has been for a couple of decades. So yeah, I mean, there's so many easy ways technology can really make life easy for you if you bother to spend a little bit of time learning it. It's not difficult.
It's all about preparation, isn't it, in the first place?
Exactly. Yep. And just
and
all the accounting, just all the popular accounting systems can do it. MyOp, Xero, QuickBooks, they're all the same. It's just a matter of using the what they've got.
Okay, so hopefully our small business, medium-sized enterprises watching this video, whether it's direct today or on Facebook or later on when you're watching it, I hope some of these comments have given you some thoughts. And obviously, if you want to discuss more of this with Kevin or Priscilla, just send an email to me, Peter at BIZTOOLS, and .com.au, and I'll pass it on. But we're going to give you both Kevin and Priscilla's emails a little bit later on, so you could send an email direct to them if you wished. So thank you very much, Kevin. We're just going to move on now, and we'll have a discussion with both you and Priscilla a little bit later on after I finish the COVID-19 news update.
Sure.
So you can just bear with me a moment, and I'll go back to there. Okay, well, COVID-19 news update. There's always something happening in this area. And some of these we've referred to quite a few times now over the last few weeks. But just a reminder that the coronavirus SME guarantee loan ceases at the 30th September. So this is the loan that you can negotiate with your bank. It's a loan for 3 years, maximum amount of $250,000. It is unsecured. It is to you. It has been 50% guaranteed by the Australian government. So this is a special tranche of money that the Reserve Bank and the federal government made available to the banks to lend for working capital purposes to SMEs. The condition that the Reserve Bank specified to the banks was that any money that had not been processed as loans to SMEs by the 30th of September had to get returned to the Reserve Bank. So please bear that in mind. And if you're looking at your cash flow forecasts, and if you haven't done them yet, please consult with your accountant or give Priscilla a ring or Kevin a ring, and do your calculations for the whole of 2021 and play devil's advocate on some of those figures. Increase your debtors days outstanding by 10 days or maybe even 20 days and see what effect that is. And perhaps what that's going to show you is you need some extra funding. And if you do, I believe you should be making an application for one of these coronavirus SME guarantee loans now. Don't leave it till after the 30th of September because that facility will not be available. And there is a strong expectation that banks are not going to be very inclined to be lending money to SMEs after the 30th of September because they're anticipating a lot of issues and problems with loans. If you're not qualified for JobKeeper, you can still do so. So if you're monitoring your accounts like Kevin suggested you should be doing, and also Priscilla, and you have found that your turnover for the month of May or the month of June has dropped by 30% when you compare it to the same month in 2019, you could apply for registration for JobKeeper, which would then flow from now on until the 30th of September. Consult your accountant and get that application in as soon as possible. So you're not closed off from JobKeeper. There has been some discussions from the Federal Treasurer that some aspects of JobKeeper are changing. It has already occurred for the childcare industry. I understand there's been another scheme put in place, which is not quite as good as JobKeeper, but apparently it's going to be more evenly spread across the industry. But I don't think you can assume that JobKeeper is going to continue after the 30th of September. The other news that we did have last week was that the Home Builder and Renovator Stimulus Package has been announced. That was part of Stimulus Package number 4. But I noticed in the Financial Review yesterday or last night when I was reading it, it's headed up state delays hold up home builders grants. The various state government and territory governments are still getting their systems in place to monitor the people who are going to be eligible for this grant. And the article indicates that the government's proposal was to be utilising some of the taxation officer's information. Everyone talking here today are accountants. We all know how difficult it is to get confidential information out of the tax office. So that's something that someone, I don't think, thought through properly, because the income level is what you disclosed in your 2018-19 income tax return. And that will not be easy for the tax office to pass across. So I don't know what's going to happen there. There might be a few delays, but this grant scheme operates under the 31st of December 2020. But in the first instance, make contact with your state government agencies, and they will be advertising which ones are involved to handle those loans, so that you can get started on your building of your new home or doing some fairly major renovations. They have to cost in excess of $150,000. Obviously, this is going to be a great benefit for the building industry and some tradies, particularly tradies who work within bathrooms and kitchens. So I imagine it's electricians and kitchen designers and manufacturers and plumbers and tilers. So there's probably a whole range of tradies, when you start thinking about it, will benefit from these $25,000 grants that are going to be made available. But the big item that I would like you to think about today as a small business or medium-sized enterprise operator is what you are going to be doing within your own business when JobKeeper ends, and also the boosting cash flow for employers. Both of these programs will end at the 30th of September. There is some possibility that some industries may get some follow-on support after the 30th of September. I suspect that would be primarily in the tourism industry, but no one else can anticipate that it's going to extend. In fact, there's certain people around Australia that would like to see some of this support end a lot sooner than the 30th of September. You need to be planning now how you're going to be managing your business, your cash flow past this event. There's also another article in yesterday's Financial Review which is headed Potential Avalanche of Windups come October. This is not very good news, and what it's highlighting is that currently there's some businesses being supported because of JobKeeper and the boosting cash flow for employers. And the government has also basically put an embargo on action against borrowers by making some amendments to the Corporations Act. That embargo finishes also at the 30th of September. So the planning for your business needs to be now, not waiting to the 30th of September, because it might be too late if you're not operating efficiently. So please see your accountants now. In one of these webinars that we run every Friday for accountants, a couple of weeks ago, I made the comment accountants should forget about having a holiday this year, because they should be very busy responding to small business and medium-sized enterprises inquiries, calls for assistance in preparing your budgets and cash flow forecasts for this new financial year, 2021, because this is going to be the most crucial financial year for many years. So let's look at a challenge for today. Talk to your accountant about providing you with a broader range of commercial services, the sort of activities that Priscilla and Kevin have been talking to you today about. Now, I agree with what Kevin said. Whilst everyone is trained at university to undertake a broad range of services, some people get pigeonholed because they start working in an accounting firm and doing tax returns. But they can do more work. They can do more work to assist you run your business more efficiently. But you probably need to have a conversation with them and talk to them about how they can help you through these difficult environments. I've just already talked to you about the budgets and cash flow forecasts. These are vital for your business so that you can clearly understand now what financial assistance you're going to need, and if at all possible, I think you should be arranging that before the 30th of September if it involves a bank. If you're able to contribute money from your own savings or from your family or friends, that's probably great. But you might also need to think about funding through a capital raise, utilising Section 708 of the Corporations Act, or crowdsource funding, equity raising, or if you've invented a new product, process or service, so you're very small and you're a young business, you could utilise early stage innovation companies structure because there's benefits for the investors and therefore the investors like that. Please involve your accountant in the preparation of your strategic plan. We've talked about budgets and cash flow forecasts, but there's a lot more to run your business in your planning. I think you should be having a business review meeting each month with your accountant participating in it as your project manager. Now, this will be very different to the relationship you may have had with your accountant in the past, but we're into new, difficult circumstances. You really need to have that hands-on assistance. You can do it via Zoom meetings if you wish, but you do need to be looking at all of that to sit down with the leadership team each month to plan where the business is going. The issues that Kevin has just discussed with you on operations management, I think is very important for every type of business, but in particular, if you're a manufacturer or a workshop type business, you need more than what the traditional general ledger is going to produce. You need more information to help you effectively manage your business. So Kevin and Priscilla, any comments on the matters that I just referred to, or any of the other, would you like to add anything to those comments?
One sentence, this is a wake-up call for accountants to actually try to, rethink their services and add advisory services to the practice. And another wake-up call for small business to actually seek that kind of help. And as you said, the sooner, the better. Don't let it too late, because you're going to find yourself in a black hole.
Yes, I agree. Kevin, you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I do. With accounting systems, I'd prefer to see them so that you can go to your accounting system and draw out, or at least create a report, which is pretty much on the money as you're looking at it. And it can be done, because by doing it the traditional way, you sometimes have to wait over a year or 18 months to see how you're going. Well, these days, with all the modern technology, you can pretty much see how you're going from day to day. And the only you need really is your accountant to, say, do his monthly adjustments, and you can actually just do standing adjustments so that, you just estimate things. And that will give you a pretty much fairly accurate report on your net profit, say, and just how your business is going. So the technology is there, and it's been there for a damn long time. Well over 20 years, and can be used, and it wouldn't cost much, because accountants now can go straight onto your system and do those adjustments with no interruption to your workflow.
That's right.
just a matter of talking to them to do that for you.
I train them to pull their profit and loss reports, and they are very happy. But small business has to understand they have to keep a closer eye on their affairs at the moment. Then
Oh, yeah.
leave
Very
it,
much so.
leave it, be alert, be focused, because like this, you're going to survive it.
Yep.
Yep, very, very well said. Okay, let's move on so we can, yes, Kev?
Oh, no, it's all right. I was just going to add a bit more about the COVID-19, making things, the, the knowledge of what's going on in your business on a regular basis a whole lot more important than it was before.
Yeah.
Because your business has been disrupted dramatically.
Yes, and it's going to affect a lot of people in different ways. Okay, so let's just move on. So ESS Small Business, we are here. We have a website which has got information for small businesses. We've got a COVID-19 survival plan. And if we've got people listening today who are saying, no, my accountant is definitely only interested in doing tax return, or he or she are just too busy, and you would like an introduction to someone who can offer some of these management services that we've been talking about today, please send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, and I will send you a list of accountants who are in your state or territory that you might care to contact. And we won't alert the accountants, we'll just send it to you. You can then decide who you wish to contact and talk to them about your business accounting, your management accounting requirements, and you can hopefully get the sort of information you're looking for. You can have a good look at all of this at our website, www.esssmallbusiness.com.au. Our next webinar on the COVID-19 survival panel is next Wednesday, the 24th of June at 12 noon AEST. I'm one of the presenters. At this stage, I think I might be the only presenter, with someone's double booked apparently, but we're sorting that out. And I'm going to talk about using government grants in your business. We had a representative from Oz Industry talked last Friday to accountants, and we have her appearing in about 6 weeks' time talking to SMEs. But I'm going to try to give businesses a better appreciation of the grants that are available, and give you a bit of a warning. You need to be asking your accountant to monitor the grants, or you can do that yourself, because some of these grants come on fairly quickly. In fact, there was a series of grants in Queensland offered by the Queensland government, grants of up to $10,000 for businesses that had been affected by COVID-19. So the money that was allocated in the first tranche went very quickly. They had a second tranche and it went in 2.5 days. The Premier of Queensland's announced this morning that they're going to have another tranche of $100 million again, and 50% of it's going to be only available for businesses in regional areas of Queensland, 50% obviously in the metropolitan area, and that's going to be available in the month of July. So if any of you are running your businesses in Queensland, there is a special grant of up to $10,000 to help you through the COVID-19 problems, but you're going to have to be quick. So start getting your applications together now. You can register for next week's webinar by going to our website, esssmallbusiness.com.au/webinars. And for more information, you can get it on esssmallbusiness.com.au, Survival in Difficult Times, Learn More, where you will be able to see the webinar recordings that we've made for the previous, webinars in this series, and look at a whole stack of other information. Or you can send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. Okay, so in winding up, stay safe. Start your planning for the next financial year now, please. And thank you for participating. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, have a great day, everyone. And hopefully we'll see you again next Wednesday at 12 noon. Goodbye.
Bye.